I can see a lot of young people here, so I guess most of us are students or just recently graduated, just like me. So it should be quite fresh in memory of our high school exams that we have to take before we go to university. And this blog that I'm going to talk about, which is my project, is an educational blog which aims to, like, if I can say it in just a few sentences, it aims to provide free, high-quality study materials for Albanian high school students to prepare for the final exams of their secondary school. We all know they're very important because we go to university, so we put a lot of effort into get a very good grade to these exams. Now, for all of you who don't know anything about Albania, Albania is a small country in Europe. Yeah, over there. And just a few numbers here for you to kind of create an idea. It's a population of 2.9 million people and is classified as a developing country by the World Bank. And since we're talking about education, it has very good literacy rate. 99% of people, they know how to read. But literacy rate, it is connected to primary school, while there are problems regarding the secondary school. For example, the government expenditure for secondary students is one of the lowest in the world. So it's just 5.1% of the GDP per capita goes to secondary education. And there is a big difference or gap between the study opportunities for students in rural and urban areas. As you can see, like half as many rural children complete their secondary education in Albania. So this means the geography, like where they live, where the students live, and how money they have, it really affects how they complete their secondary school education. Now here is where we also get the problem root, or in business term is the market gap that I'm trying to tackle. So there are very few limited resources for Albanian high school students, and many students living in the rural areas, there are statistics that show that they only have one single textbook for every exam. Now, and there are additional study materials out there, like for example, I was lucky that I could go and attend private courses and lessons, and also buy complementary books. But they are often expensive, and these children in the rural area or which are disadvantaged in some ways, they cannot get access to these. But there is another thing, which is there was an initiative from the government of Albania that every house should have internet. So there is like almost everyone has access to internet in Albania. But then, even though they have access into internet, there are not many like study materials in there. So for example, if you're a British student, I study in the UK now, and I want to search about Shakespeare because I have to do a homework about it. I go Google Shakespeare and I get tons of educational materials out there where I can read and just get an idea of what is it about. Well, when it comes to Albanian literature, if you type like of an Albanian author, there are like not many results coming up, and most of them they just come from like forums where people just discuss. So you cannot really rely on them to like write an essay or even more to go and like do your final exams. So this is why this blog was. So this is our drive, is that everyone should have access to free high-quality study materials. So I had books and some other people had like private courses, but this means that like these students from the rural area, they don't have this. But we can use the internet to offer free materials for everyone. So as an overview, so this blog was created in 2012, and it contains like mainly things about the literature exam, and students and teachers contribute their materials for free, and this is something I will get back to in a minute. And we also make sure that everything is up to date with the newest exam regulations and study programs. Like this is very important because these people, we have gained their trust, and they read these materials and they go and write like their homework. So we cannot put things which are not correct. So it is very important that I review everything very well, and we also have teachers contributing into this to make sure that everything is really correct and people can rely on us. Otherwise, imagine if you study a book and then it's like, oh, sorry, what you've written here is wrong. So, like, this is a very important thing. And just a few words of how this all started. Back in 2012, when I was in high school, and I was getting these materials, I was creating this blog. I was the only contributor, and I was just writing, about my homeworks that I was having, like essays and everything. And then I never promoted or advertised this blog, but after a year, let's say, it started getting a lot of traffic, and all of it was coming from Google. Like, people were searching for this Albanian author, and then my blog started to come out the first in search results about Albanian authors. So on Google, if you write like, well, you cannot, but if you write like the name of an Albanian author, like this blog, like the search results shows it is among the first one. So there was an interest also from students who wanted their homework to be published. So they were dropping me emails like, I have this homework, would you like to publish it there, this essay? And I had to carefully review everything and just updated the blog. And then we also, we're awarded a couple of certificates. So this one was in Toronto Startup Weekend back then, where we awarded the Certificate of Excellence. Now, the thing is that where are we going? Because if you see, this is how it used to be before. I was in the center, and I was collaborating with students and teachers to review every submission that they were doing with the blog. But you can understand that this takes a lot of time, because sometimes I get up to like 10 submissions per day, and I have to read all through of them and like edit and make sure that everything is fine before I submit something to the blog. Which you can understand, I'm a student myself, I don't have much time, so this is slowing down a lot of the process. Well, we're awarded a fund from the University of Westminster back in London, so the fund awarded us this amount of money to create a new website, which is different. So I will not be anymore in the center of the circle, but it will be something which is very decentralized, where this is kind of where these such platforms are going to, like students, they just log in and they submit their materials, and they also edit what is in there, what they can actually read, they can edit it, which sounds a lot like a little wiki for education. So I guess some of you might know about a wiki, but it's just something where it's an open source, where everyone can edit, like this is like in Wikipedia, we can open a new discussion, like write something new. So this thing will be a wiki about education in Albania, about this, basically the literature, mostly for high school students. And the results, what we've had until now, so it's plus 2.6 million views. This started like last month with like 34K. There's a few statistics here, but like, just like 47 comments, so people are quite interested, very active in there. I get like loads of emails and submissions. And according to just like a very small calculation I did, I've seen that around 93% of high school students in Albania have access to blog per year. So these are quite good numbers considering that the population of Albania is 2.9 million. So what I mean with this is that it is really easy to set a social enterprise and to make it happen if there is a gap and you can identify it. So what I make sure to do is that I kept an eye on the analytics of my blog, of the search keywords. I was checking what students search on certain time of the year, because that's according to their study plan. And then I would prepare the material before, and the next year I would publish this stuff like right in front of when I expected this demand to come. And this, I think it has given very good results, as we can see. And and another thing is that this decentralized thing that I was telling you about in the blog, I think that this is very promising because it lowers a lot the time that we need to finish such a thing. And while I might still have to review some stuff, anyway, it is much quicker than me like having to read everything and make this, like the submission in there and so on. So all you need, I think, for all of the students who will probably develop a similar idea is to keep an eye on the analytics, understand very well what the student wants, and create tailored and very high quality results. And you'll see that the traffic, it will increase a lot. I never advertise this, so this is the proof. So yeah, thank you very much. If you have any questions.
Questions for her? I have one question. What kind of information do you have in this blog?
So it's mainly like for Albanian literature. So we have like analysis and comments of certain like authors. Because how the exam is that normally you're given two authors and some like a fragment of their book, for example, and you have to comment on it in the exam. So we have similar stuff. We have like, because people, they get this as a homework as well. So, and they publish these homeworks in there. So other people can just read it for inspiration and like take notes and use it as further material to, as a complementary material, let's say. But when you have only one textbook, this is very valuable because you see something in a different way.
Mostly in literature.
Yeah, it's mostly in Albanian literature. Yeah, so it's a very small like thing, but
But understand. More questions, please, for her.
That's fine.
So if I understand correctly, there's no textbooks uploaded on there.
No.
Because in the beginning I was wondering whether like the author writes, if you could actually do this, but it's all students submit and teachers that submit their own.
And of course we make sure that everything is protected in there. So if a student submits a work, we ask if they want their name to be published or not. They can just submit it anonymous, of course there are problems because many other like websites try to copy things from this one. So then you can always report it to Google. And if you were the first one to submit it, then Google will probably like change somehow and block the page. But we don't upload books because books are available. We upload like additional study materials.
Okay.